Hey guys, Paradox here. Today I'm going to be going over my first impressions of The Division, and I'll start by saying it's a really awesome game. I really like it. I'm really enjoying it, but I do have issues with it, and I'm kind of worried that by the time I finish the game or get to a point where I'm comfortable reviewing it, these things will be detracting from it a little bit. But anyways, also I'm trying out some new lighting. I don't really have fancy white lights that all those cool YouTubers have, but whatever. And I got my notes written down here. So it's off to a great start. You launch the game and you're right away thrown into this sequence where you're shown the virus, you're shown that it was used on dollar bills, and you're shown how they managed to infect New York. And I thought that was really cool. And the way it transitions from with real actors, those kinds of scenes, to the voiceover with the guy and the girl talking about The Division, I thought that was really well done, and it gave me goosebumps. You didn't hear in the video because it was in a different take I took, but for me that was a very powerful moment. And then when you stand up, you look at the door, you close it, you look in the window, and you start your character customization. I thought that was really seamless and really well done, so hats off for that. Okay, so the prologue served as a really great way to show off the mechanics of the game. You know, you're given 3 little side missions. You better understand the environment around you and the setting and your role in it. And what I really liked is that the final mission of the prologue, it's actually the E3 demo they showed us a few years ago, where the graphics were mind-bogglingly awesome. Of course, they scaled it down, but not the end of the world. That is something that I should point out, though. They did downscale the graphics, but they're still beautiful. I really don't get why people are bitching. Like, it's such a travesty that we don't have these super awesome graphics. I think they're really nice, and they convey a great story through small details, but I'll get to that in a bit. So, the story doesn't seem that engaging to me. I'm not really pulled into it. I get the immediacy of the story. I get how we have to take New York City back. We have to stop the virus. We have to save everyone that we can and reestablish society. But it's not that engaging. Fei Lao comes out of nowhere, and right away she becomes sort of our commanding officer. And so she's cool, but I'd like to know a bit more about her. The side mission where we save her sister, it was pretty light. It wasn't resonating with me. With that said, though, the lore is fascinating. So a lot of times when I play games like Destiny, for example, is a great comparison. Sometimes the story of a game isn't that great, but the lore is. So the lore is everything that you can piece together on your own, whether it's by looking at the environment around you and just putting together a narrative architecture or narrative structure, or you find items in the game that give you context and give you backstory. So the lore of the game is great. Like, you can find phone recordings, you can find broken drones. You can, Isaac, your computer system AI thingy on your shoulder, he can create these really cool echoes that take all the security cameras around you and recreate a holographic scene that you can walk around and interact with. So it's really easy to find out what happened right before the outbreak and during the first few days and the first few weeks. And there's a few instances where the game gives you footage and it's really chilling. Like when you get a video feed of 2 police officers responding to a distress call. They go into an alleyway and they're ambushed by the Rikers. Wow, I was really taken aback by that. Okay, so the game has a very MMO feel to it, in that the gameplay is fun. Like, I like playing the game. I really enjoy the mechanics of it, but the actual side quests are so boring. They're so repetitive. They're predictable. They don't feel rewarding, and so as a player, I feel like I'm doing chores. And I don't want to feel that way. I'm a Division agent, you know? I want to feel like I'm having more of an impact. And yes, you can save some citizens, etc. And when you rebuild your base of operations, you can uh, you can see. Actually, I'm getting ahead of myself. We'll go back. We'll come back to that. But yes, I do think that's a pretty big negative point for the Division, where for such a great open world, they don't really make you feel that great, which I think kind of sucks. Okay, I really want to talk about the first security mission when you have to go rescue Captain Benitez. When you go into the Lincoln Tunnel, I loved that mission. From a storytelling point of view, I thought it was really cool. I liked how I felt the impact I was having, which was great. I understood that if I don't stop the rioters, shit's gonna go down. You know, they're gonna break down the floodgates, and it's gonna be a disaster for New York. So right away, like, I start the mission, I'm like, okay, I gotta fuck shit up. I gotta get this done. Like, they're depending on me. It was really great. So from a narrative point of view, and then from an actual level design, there were so many different ways to approach the mission. And you could either stay on the same level as the enemies, you could climb up and get a better vantage point if you have a sniper rifle. You had so many options, and I love that flexibility. That, I feel, is very, very prominent in the main story missions. And yes, some of the side quests you can go up and down or whatever, but that's more the way the world was designed rather than the actual level itself. So next up, user interface, user experience, solid. It's rock solid. I'm a sucker for these really cool futuristic sci-fi user interfaces, and the way Isaac projects everything it's really cool. There was a Ubisoft trailer that was produced by I forget who. I'll leave an annotation and a link. But you see the origin story of an agent as she gets activated, and you can see her contact lenses, and that's how she sees the map around you. So now every time I bring up the map, that's what I'm imagining, and I feel like a badass doing that. So it brings out really great, it evokes a great sense of power in me to have this really cool interface, because I feel like I have such an advantage over these rioters, these cleaners, the Rikers. So those parts of the game make you feel like an awesome agent, not doing chores. There are a few bugs and glitches. I did get completely stuck in a place once, I think in the 3rd or 4th episode, after I took down the crazy woman, Madison? I forget her name. It was a bounty mission, side mission. I got stuck. Not the end of the world. I just fast traveled back to the Hudson Bay. Solid. We're good. So, next up, crafting. I love the idea of crafting. I think it's a core element of most MMOs, and I can't say how well it's implemented simply because I don't feel the incentive to craft right away. Every mission I do, I end up finding some piece of gear, some weapon that is incrementally better than my own, and I don't want to spend resources right now to get something that's going to immediately get replaced. So I for sure see the potential of it. I think it has a great way to go. But until I hit the level cap, I think I'm just going to skip over it. Okay, the base of operations. This has to be one of my favorite elements of the game. I absolutely love the base. That is single-handedly the best way that the game conveys the impact you're having on a microcosmic scale. Because you have this single base, and every time you complete a major mission or you upgrade a certain wing, you can see it getting cleaned up, you can see it getting renovated, and you can see people entering it. Like, when I upgrade the medic wing and I have a sick bay, or I have a pediatric desk or a counseling area, it's really cool to reload the area, come back in, and see people are using that. I feel like I'm bringing in people off the streets, and I'm granting them a place of solace, an asylum of sorts. So they did a great job with that. It's well designed. There's little lights or lines on the ground that you can follow to get to the specific wing. And the way that ties into which abilities you get, I thought that's a very, very unique system. I can't remember a game that's done that, and I love it. I love how you upgrade a certain part of a wing, say security. You upgrade I forget. I don't know. This is going to be wrong, but you upgrade, say, the virus lab, and that gives you the first aid station. So it's a new ability that you can now equip, and then if you get a separate upgrade, you unlock the modifications for that skill. So for the longest time, I was using the first aid ability that lets you heal yourself. And when I got an upgrade, I was then given 3 new options of a way that I could approach this single skill. And that is one of the key words for me, is being able to approach a situation however you want and always feel like you stand a chance. I have friends that prefer a shotgun approach, and so they often like to get in close with to their enemies, so they'll use a ballistic shield, they'll use a turret. Me, I like to sit far back. I like to have the sticky bomb because I can shoot it hella far. I like to have the first aid ability so I don't have to depend on my med kits. And I like using a sniper. And both of those ways are so viable. So the base of operations, the upgrading system is fantastic. The vendors, I can't comment too much on them because I just don't buy anything. I see no reason to buy anything for the same reason I talked about in the crafting system. I am too afraid of having things get replaced. I did a few more missions. By the time you'll have watched this video, I did a few more medic missions. The Hudson Yard mission, that was really, really fun. That was a cleaner mission, and it had a lot of open space. The cleaners are so fucking tough, and they're so terrifying. Holy shit! Every time I'm focused on one, I'm sniping it. Or him. I'm waiting for him to pop his head out of cover. Next thing I know, I'm on fire because someone snuck around me and they're close enough to get me in range with their flamethrower. And it's so terrifying. So that was a great level. The mall level, where you have to go to Adelaide's, I don't know, some mall. You go in there and right away, it's a very powerful image. You see this massive Christmas tree set on fire. The cleaners are burning everything. I get in there, Jessica Candle's yelling in my earpiece, you have to make sure the bills are uncontaminated. Okay, so first of all, holy shit, relax. I can do my job. She was a little annoying that mission, but I can understand from her point of view. It seems like she works with a lot of incompetent people, so she's covering her ass. But that was another cool mission. I love the major story missions because first of all, they're excellently designed. There's a lot of verticality to it, so even though you can discover a certain borough of the game map, and the mission takes place right over here, but it's on several levels, so it feels big, and each one has a fair amount of checkpoints, and each stage is so difficult. And I'm playing the solo missions on hard, because otherwise, normal mission may as well be called. Wow, I almost said something horribly offensive. Normal difficulty is just really, really easy. They might want to crank it up a little bit, because it's not a challenge at all. Episode 4, I did the Madison Field Hospital. I just walked right through it. It was a joke. So, yeah, I did a few more missions, and I still feel like the plot isn't that engaging. It's cool. We get some cool pieces of evidence, but nothing that's like, whoa, I can't wait to see what happens next. I do think that a big reason is that outside of the big missions, everything feels kind of empty. I'm not feeling that cool as an agent. And the final thing I want to talk about is the Dark Zone. Holy shit, is that place fun. It is so fun. I didn't think I'd get to the Dark Zone until I hit max rank, but I was told that it's worth to go in a little bit. So I said, fuck it. I go in. I think I was level 10 when I first went in. I went with my friend Kyle. Oh my god, we get our asses whooped so hard. Holy shit. The NPCs are so powerful and snipers are so deadly. But if you just bum rush them, then they take out their pistol and they're just cannon fodder at that point. But it was really cool. I loved how eerie it felt. You enter the Dark Zone and it feels walled off from the rest of the map. You constantly feel on edge because you don't know what's around the corner, if it's going to be an enemy cleaner, a rioter, like an NPC enemy, or if it's going to be a player who just, he sees you and is like, does that guy have some good loot? I don't know. I'm gonna fucking kill him. And that's a real thing to be afraid of. So you're always on your toes. And I was lucky my first few times. I only ever died to NPC enemies. And I was always able to get back the items that I dropped. Because when you enter the dark zone, any item you find, you have to extract it via helicopter. And if you die, you drop everything that you picked up. So it's a really cool system. Really, really fun. I love it. There's I forget I'm not sure what the term is, but you can talk to people, proximity chat. I think that's it. There's proximity chat, which is really useful. There was this guy from Argentina. He was talking to me while we were waiting for the extraction. No one came to kill us, thankfully. And yeah, the game is a blast to play. I would 100% recommend it to anybody that is looking for a fun time. If you're looking for something that's going to really hook you and give you a fantastic apocalyptic scenario storyline, you're probably better off reading a book or playing, I don't know, Enslaved. That was a really cool apocalyptic game. But yeah, I really like this game. It has its flaws, but as a whole, I'm loving it. I already have a decent idea of what my review is going to be like, just in a continuation of this. And also, this is my second first impressions video, and I'm realizing now that as I film it, I don't think I'm structuring them well enough. Because essentially, after every episode I film, I'm writing down notes of how I felt, you know, like things I wanted to point out or whatever. So when I make the review, I have a lot of reference. And yeah, I feel like it's really, really unorganized. So I think my next first impressions, I'm going to try and add a bit more structure to it. I'm also thinking of, yeah, don't worry, I have some things in the works, some changes I'm going to try and make to make the channel a lot more engaging, because I do want my videos to feel a lot cooler. I want it to be more of an enjoyable experience when you view them. Like at the end of a video, I don't want it to just end. It'd be nice if there was actually like a little outro that guided you to watch something else or follow me on Twitter or whatever. So I don't have the time to do all that though, because I'm recording so much right now. But that's for a vlog that I'm going to record maybe on Friday. Anyways, those are my first impressions of The Division. Awesome game. Ubisoft, Massive Studios, you guys did a fantastic job so far. I commend you. Smooth launch. I'm so happy you guys broke your records. And just keep up with the good work. It's a really, really good game. Yeah, that's about it. I'll see you guys next time. Take care.